The Russian command sent the mobilized men from Belgorod to Ukraine. They came to guard facilities at their place of residence, but ended up in the Donetsk region. They said that all their documents were taken away and they were not trained and sent to the death.
I am Senior Lieutenant Oleg Gennadievich. I refuse to perform the said task due to the fact that the personnel of the platoon as I was not trained and was sent to the front line. We were brought here at night, carried for 14 hours without any explanation. Personnel are dying. This is all that's left of my platoon, of the whole company.
And here is another appeal from mobilized men from the Kaliningrad, Murmansk and Arkhangelsk regions of Russia. The story is the same, from the so-called territorial defense straight to the front, with weapons from 1940s.
Before the offensive, the 1,941 guns are used, including mortars and cannons. We are not an assault unit. We were trained as a territorial defense unit, and during our first assault, 6 men were killed in one trench.
According to Article 22 of the Russian law on defense, territorial defense units are created during martial law as an additional measure of protection, but there is no martial law in Russia. On March 3rd, Putin's spokesperson Peskov stated that the decision to introduce martial law in the regions bordering Ukraine is made only by the President of the Federation, but there are no such plans. However, in Belgorod, the so-called terrorism fighters are already patrolling the area together with the security forces. Governor of the Belgorod region Vyacheslav Gladkov announced the creation of territorial defense units back in December, allegedly in response to numerous requests from citizens, and in fact contrary to Russian law. There is no territorial defense in Russia, lawyers say. There are only units of the Ministry of Defense of the Federation. That's why they can send mobilized people anywhere and anytime. They just don't know it themselves.
There is no such thing as a territorial defense in Russia. It hasn't been created yet, and there is no such thing on the legislative level. When mobilization began, to reassure Russian citizens who were recruited through mobilization, the Ministry of Defense and the Russian authorities put out a rumor that don't worry, mobilization is not a big deal. We are drafting you into the territorial defense. There is a lot of confusion because people who are mobilized in Russia are not happy about their legal status.
Since last November, Russian propaganda has been working on a fake about alleged preparations for an attack by the armed forces of Ukraine on Belgorod, Bryansk and Kursk. Thousands of Russians were recruited into the non-existent territorial defense to defend against the non-existent threat. Now the Kremlin is sending them to the front to certain and pointless death. Reported by Roman Smoler, Yulia Bezborodko, UATV News.